So for example, a lot of you ask me why I've only got one giveaway on my link. So every time we have a new thing to give away, so my link tree, I might take out the social media mini course and I might put in a speaker course. And then I might take out the speaker course and put in a property course. Then I might take out the property course and put in a sales course, right? Or I might take that out. So you always want to switch it up. You don't want to have too many things. And you only want to put in something that feeds into your funnel. So you call it a feeder.
Можно создать 5-10, ну, скажем, 5 этих.
Another good question, but a longer one. John, I own a product-based business, which is women's swimwear. The sales have decreased year over year by 30% in the last 3 years. The only way I was able to keep revenue up recently was by running bigger sales up to 40 to 50% off. What specific strategies can you recommend to increase revenue by 30% in 30 to 60 days so I don't devalue the brand? Show some actionable examples, please.
Simple. So if I was you, I would find all the influencer models, give them all your stock, let them post it and run traffic to your site. I guarantee the more traffic you get to your site, the more money you make. In fact, one of my students who I'm mentoring and I coached one-on-one, she has a swimwear brand. It's called Riviera Coco, and she's making over $1 million, right? In sales just by doing that one strategy that I gave to her. So make sure you just do what I told you to do, and then you'll make money doing it.
Another question. How do you approach multiple landing pages with different offers and your website? How do you make that transition when they can learn more about you in the instance of learning more to feel confident about hiring you for a coaching package?
So what I do is you want to give people previews. So for example, I might run a Zoom session. I say, okay, guys, if you've got any questions for me, like, it's kind of like what I'm doing now, actually. You're asking me questions, I'm giving you the solution for it. And the people go, well, John, how do I get deeper into that? Then I say, well, if you want to book a session, here's the link, it's $5,000 an hour. And I'll guarantee that in that session, I'll give you more than $5,000 worth of value. All right? So that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. And people will feel more incentivized to buy something from you when you get something for free.
Well, you have to demonstrate the value. So either through testimonial, either through demonstration, either through trust and credibility, either through a referral.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, people are good at what they do. It's just that they're invisible.
Yeah,
it's like having a voice like Mariah Carey, but no one's ever heard you sing before.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by applying all the strategies that you taught us to do during this session and especially today too, I think we can achieve that.
Yeah.
Good. It seems like one would really need to put ourselves out there to shape people's perception of us. Does that mean we would definitely need 100% to put ourselves and our face out there to be branded more? How would you advise somehow who wants to maintain low-key anonymity and not be on news, magazine covers and stages all the time?
Well, you can do written stuff. So a blog. So I have one of my friends of mine, her name's Ashley. She's got a travel blog. She makes like millions doing it. And she's only just recently started showing her face after making 10 million in a company.
That's what I'm saying. We can
so you don't always have to show your face. Like you can show your voice.
We need to show your face.
Right? Have people listen to your voice.
Your butt.
Or you can just do like blog, write a book, right? You don't always have to show your face. You can use AI avatars now, right? Just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. David is asking to target business owners and create a flow for potential acquisitions. Would we still offer a chargeable product or service or just offer a freebie and then book a call?
So it depends, right? So for example, when you do things for free, you get more volume. And when you get more volume, you get more people applying, right? So like for me, I'll give an example. So I use something called a type form, right? So type, because someone asked the question before, John, how do you qualify people, right? So if you do it for free, you're gonna get all sorts of people coming in. Some of them are gonna be serious, some of them are gonna be not serious. So I have a qualifier. So I'll walk you through the process, right? So John Lee Platinum. Right. So this is a type form that I use, right? So I've got a URL, John Lee Platinum, and then they go to type form like this. And basically you ask the question, how do you get qualified to do it for free? Or do you give a freebie, then you get the main? I don't do that. I basically run them through an event and I say all the way through if you want to be coached. So then they put the name in like John, and they put the number in there. Right, email address, right, what country you're from, what time zone you're in, how did you hear about us, right, what event did you hear me speak, what describes you running a business, full-time job. So you see, I'm qualifying people, right? What's your rough turnover? Right? How much did you make last year? Describe your product. Right? How much revenue would you like to make in John Lee's mentoring? Okay. Right? What do you need training on? So we basically have a form that people fill in. Right? Why should you be accepted into annual mentoring program? Right? What best describes you? What's the best way to contact you? So you see, like we get and then we click submit. Right? So if I look at how many people have filled this in, right? And this is how you describe, or this is how many how you would decide whether you do it for free or you do it for paid. Right? So if you look at the results, let me show you some of the results. Right? So I've had 7,000 people that have visited the site. 2,685 people started it, and we had 899 people. The completion rate is 33.5%, and the time to complete is about half an hour. All right, so it takes people an average. So now I have 899 people that want to have a one-to-one session with me. All right, that's too many people. So that's why I have to charge $5,000 an hour, because it filters out all those people. I hope so that's how you decide how you charge or not charge. Now, if you don't have anyone, then you want to start doing it for free first, then you build up the supply, then you charge. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it.
Thank you for the answer. Another question is how to become comfortable on camera and public speaking. What was your beginning and how did you improve? So we want to know your story.
Oh God, okay. So I started, how long do we have? So in a nutshell, I started as an animator. I listened to a podcast called, a guy called Dolph DeRuse. This guy was a PhD doctor, couldn't get a job. He applied for a job, and after 2 years he got a job and with an offer of 35,000. And then the same day he'd sold a property and made 35,000. So it's like, why am I working in a job when I can just buy and sell a property? That's what got me into property. So then I started getting into property. I started attending courses. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it taught me the concept of passive income. And then I started buying property. So I got an investor. I used his money to buy property, and I started buying all these properties. People kept asking me, how do you buy all these properties? I made my first $1 million at 27. So what happened is people would ask me questions and go for coffee all the time. I'd tell them how I do the property stuff, and then they would tell somebody else, and then more people would come, and I was too busy. So then I wrote a guide and I started giving it to people, but then people started getting the guide and sharing it with their friends. And the guy said, John, I read your report, can you come to do a talk at my event? First event I speak, I said, Steve, I'm not a speaker. There's about 6 people there, right? With a room that can fit 50 people. So I just took my report, started reading it. But one person in there contacted someone else and said, John, you should speak at this event. So the guy contacted me and I show up, there's 250 people there, right? So then what happened is that's when the growth of social media came. So people start taking pictures, sharing it online. So then the more people would see it online, the more people would contact me. The more people would contact me, the more deals I would get, the more consulting work I would do, the more joint venture partnerships I would get. And then eventually, 2015, I got my first book deal by Wiley, right? And when I wrote that book, I put it on social media and YouTube, then one of my videos went viral. Overnight, I gained 1 million followers. And I was like, oh my God, there's something in this social media thing, right? So I started doing the social media. I started, putting content out there. And what I realized is more content I put out, the more people reach out to me, right? The more content I put out, the more people reach out to me. And it's not just about that. Opportunities would come as well. So then Jay and I became friends. I then got invited to Jay Shetty's podcast, and that podcast is a massive podcast. So I started doing interviews on there, and then eventually, and then we start running events. So people start coming to our office, and then we had to hire hotels, and it went from 5 people to 10 people to 1,000 people to 3,000 people in our events. And then what happened? The pandemic happened. So then an app came out called Clubhouse. So I couldn't do events anymore, so I started speaking on Clubhouse. And then eventually I became an investor in Clubhouse. And then when that started happening, I would have 45,000 people listening to me every single day, right? So the key to this is to make sure that you are creating a lot of awareness. And from that, I got a lot of opportunities to invest in companies in Silicon Valley. I invested in 25 companies, and 4 of them are unicorns now, right? And so the more I speak, the more opportunities I get, the more opportunities I get, the more money I make, the more money I make, the more I can invest in growing the brand. So that's how my whole speaking I actually, when I was a little boy, I used to have a stutter. I had no intentions of becoming a speaker, but it became a passion of mine. Now I don't have to do this, but I want to do this because something that really excites me. And this is why I always say, if you want to truly live your life's purpose, you have to answer these 3 questions. One is, what brings you joy? The second is, what are you good at? And the third is, what problems are you solving that you can uniquely solve for people? So what brings me joy? Impacting people's lives and changing people's lives. What am I good at? Business, entrepreneurship, and investing. What problem can I solve? Anyone who has a money problem, I can solve their problem. That's it. So it took me 20 years to figure this out, by the way. But now this is infused in everything I do. That's why I get so jazzed being here with all of you, because I can see the journey where you're starting, where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. It's exactly these things I'm telling you right now. And all the other incredible speakers and the amazing Mind Valley community to support you along that journey as well.
Thank you so much. And it looks like it all started with exposure and taking one step at a time.
Yes.
And then everything explodes.
Well, the more action you take, the more money you make. Do you know what I say entrepreneurship is? Here's a mistake people make, Bianca. They try and figure everything out on a business plan, and then they try and execute it. That's the wrong way to do business. You see, entrepreneurs, we are all over the place. And people think we're crazy. Because, you're doing that one thing, but you said this thing, but you change your mind next minute. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? People think we're crazy. It's not that we're crazy, it's our minds work so fast that for the mere mortals, they can't see how fast we can think. It's like a superpower, right? My friend Jim Quick talks about this a lot. So my thing is, entrepreneurism is we jump off a cliff and we build the plane on the way down. Because we're trying to figure it out as we go along. That's why we are strategically random. We have organized chaos. That's what makes us who we are. That's why it's so important to have a team that understand how you are and who you are. They need to accept you for who you are. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of this.
Yep.
Anyway.
So true. So true.
He's so right about this.
We have a question. What is the best way to create a waiting list? And I would expand a little bit here. What is the best way when you start from zero to start creating a list also for emails so that you can sell?
Honestly, it's what I call the 3 C's. Content, call to action, conversion. Every time you put a piece of content out there, put a call to action. right? So for example, when I have people say to me, oh, John, yeah, I want to have a mentoring session with you, I say, go to johnleeplatinum.com, apply. Out of almost, not every video, or, you know, another video might be, okay, if you want to attend my next event, go to johnleeevent.com. Or, hey, you want to join my mastermind, go to johnleemastermind.com. So I do the content, call to action, and then I just drive so much traffic there that some people are going to buy. I mean, Bianca, how many times you've been shopping before? You had no intention of buying anything, but yet you came home with bags of shopping.
You don't even want to know the number.
Right?
A lot of times.
Right, so you've got to get people browsing in your shop. And to do that is the 3 C's.
Okay. Erin, I see you in the chat. You're laughing about my answer, but it's very, very, very true. And I think a lot of women out here can relate to me. So it's not just me out here.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
Which company do you love for creating awesome landing pages? Is it easy to link those pages to your website? Would you use GoDaddy?
I would keep them all separate. So we have something called an authority site. For example, johnlee.com is an authority site. And honestly, the main authority sites don't really make money. What you want is, in fact, I'll show you, right? So you have your main authority site. So this is johnlee.com, right? But what you want is you want all these other sites. These are called satellite sites that stand alone from your authority site. And let me ask you all the question. Which one do you think makes more money? These basic satellite sites or the main website? Which one do you think? The main one or the satellites?
The satellite.
Satellites. Every time. All my satellites combined make 10 times more money than johnlee.com. johnlee.com is just like a brochure, right? Whereas my satellite sites is, I've already done the selling, and I say, hey, you want to have a mentoring session with me? Click the button, book a session.
So you upsell for the one-on-ones with you
Yes.
to solve problems.
Yeah. And it's
So
specific.
we should consider websites just as, you know, maybe like a card of presentation of who we are, what we do, actually getting some knowledge out there, but then a personalized experience, that's where we need to upsell, right?
Correct. This is why all the things we've been talking about in every single one of these social media masteries is really comes down to 3 things. Number 1, your following and distribution. Number 2 is your brand. And number 3 are your offers. When you have these 3 things, you combine them together and you do it on a consistent basis, it just makes money. But of course, you have to add value at the same time. You can't just keep selling stuff all the time, right? So it's a concept I call earning the right to sell. You have to earn your right to sell to people now. And you know the funny thing is, Bianca, like people hate being sold to, but they love to buy.
They love to buy, yeah. Everyone buys everything. Everything we own, we have, everything is bought up in one form or another. Even if you take an apple from a tree, at some point there was a seed that was planted over there so we can, you know, grow something and eat it. Up to the big scale, to the big cities. It's true. We just have to get over, I think, some blockages that we have in order to be able to sell well.
Got it.
Good. Can you discuss how you're using Infusionsoft?
Yeah, so the new version of Infusionsoft is called Keep, K-E-A-P. And Keep is my email database. So anytime someone fills any details in, the details go into Keep, and then we send emails out. That's how we do it.
That's why those
So again,
structured whatever.
when you send emails out, some of them are gonna click on it, some of them are gonna click on the page, and some of them are gonna buy.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're not putting, like, do you know the first thing I do when I sit down one-to-one with somebody, how can I guarantee that they make more money? Is I get them to make more offers. That's it. Right? But do you know the thing is, people don't even make offers. I said, how are you going to make money if you don't offer someone to buy something from you? That's it. Make more offers. Well, how to make an offer? Tell me your offer right now. Here's your offer. Restructure the offer. Do it this way. Those 3 steps. Core offer, bonus offer, fast action. So, again, it's taken me 20 years to figure this stuff out. And all of you are getting it literally handed to you on a plate. So just do what I tell you to do, and you'll make money. I was just with one of my students. His name's Jackie Shen, and this guy was in a wheelchair.
Oh, again, somebody. It's not you. Somebody started using TV of.
He's Indian, right? So he's taken my content, and he takes my strategies and applies it to the Indian market. It's amazing. This lady here, check this.
Hey guys, so I'm here with John Lee, entrepreneur, business mentor, social media strategist, absolute.
So this is one of my.
Okay, we have it all. Because John probably start using the channel he shouldn't use. I'm using.
I was just recently in Brisbane. And she came to see me speak. She's got like 20 to. She's making.
Okay.
She's got